For some reason, I've avoided this anime until now. I don't know why, but it seems a bit boring and kinda lame. The cover made it look like a DxD copycat. However, Testament of Sister New Devil has proven you can inspire heavily from DxD and still deliver a badass protagonist, an exciting story, and an abundance of hot, delicious waifus. Finally, I decided to give So I Can Play Age a fair try, and I simply love it. From the beautiful waifus to the intriguing premise and the awesome perverted harem king. This anime earned a place in my HG collection, rather close to the top. This is amazing. The style is fun. I like the atmosphere and the black fighting uniforms of our girls. They are green reapers, but are more like battle magical girls. I prefer mean, dominant, arrogant waifus rather than beautiful, benevolent ones. Being a villain gives you so much more options to take in life. When it comes to erotic, naughty stories, it's best to get devil girls rather than angels. You have Green Reapers to strip and expose beautiful female figures. Not gonna lie, but one aspect that really got me hooked on this show is the abundance of well-timed fan service. The nudity feels thematic, and is mostly implemented well within the action. Getting naked while changing to your battle uniform is an understandable cliche when it comes to magical girls copycat waifus, or while taking a bath some girls like to expose their bouncy breasts for the audience. It's simply a magnificent thing to see in a harem anime. If you're gonna have 4 promiscuous girls flirt with an average looking guy, then you might as well have them naked every single episode to get the full value of experiencing an anime harem. This anime gets it right. The genre is perfectly being implemented into a show where fanservice is at the forefront of the story. But other anime like High School DxD or Love Ru have a more direct approach in exposing nudity on screen. So I Can Play Age tries to be a bit more clever in bringing those beautiful tits in the spotlight. There's a lot of fighting in this anime, and yet the action is less rewarding or narratively driven than other shonen shows. I guess you can't really have it all, otherwise this title would have been way more popular and not so underrated as it is right now. I hope people watch this video and check it out for themselves, because the overall premise is definitely worth your time. I definitely recommend this anime, despite its flawed narrative and less exciting fighting sequences. As we're on the subject of boobs, the ones I like the most from this series are from the main waifu, Lizara Restal. She's the main girl from the harem, with red hair and tsundere tendencies. Usually in ecchi anime, the main love interest is pink hair / redhead hottie, Rias Gremory, Lala Devilook, Stella Verderia, or Maka Kashia, to name a few. Here we have Lizara. Now, unlike the previously mentioned waifus, Lizara has small boobs. Yeah, I'm kinda inclined to value those girls with modest chest and a slender figure. It is a lot of fun to see them struggle and feel complexed by their forms whenever in competition with other well-stacked waifus. Kinda how Emilia from Devil's a Part-Timer was frustrated when faced with a huge breasted lolly. Lizara is easily angered whenever her female opponent, or even the harem king himself, points out just how flat-chested she is. I like both the flat-chested type and the voluptuous girl with big boobs to bounce around. If you're gonna have a mean tsundere as the main waifu of the show, you better make her flat-chested. In most anime I watch, it's either the flat-chested tsundere brunette or loli, who is mean and aggressive towards the protagonist. Lizara Restal is a very beautiful girl. She's also the one who gets exposed the most throughout the show. Right from the start, Lizara is presented as eye candy for the audience and protagonists alike. She's randomly standing in the rain in front of Ryosuke's house. Being the perverted gentleman he is, the main character insists for her to join him and invites her to his home. or she can use the shower. Now for any other harem case, there should be the more cautious moment for these katas. Usually guys act shy and try to avoid peeping on the ladies. Here, however, Yosuke is more than willing to get his hands full of her tits and pelt her ass. This is what I like about the protagonist. He's a total slob and a perv. He acts more like a dirty old man rather than a shonen hero. Having naughty and perverted harem kim is always a good sign in these type of shows. Life is more frustrating than having a main character who does not enjoy the many girls who expose their beautiful boobs and pale white skin to him. This used to be a problem in the past. The protagonist was uninterested in the many beautiful waifus from the harem, or better said, he was unable to enjoy them due to his lack of talent, willpower, and most of all personality. Thankfully, Ryosuke does not suffer from any of these previously mentioned flaws of the early harem days. So I Can't Play Age was released in 2013 and it shows. It addresses all shortcomings of the genre and even overcompensates by making the protagonist a dirty, simple-minded pervert. I guess he kinda resembles his mother. She's one hell of a MILF, with her business suit and huge boobs. Also the way she met his dad was strikingly similar to how Ryosuke got acquainted with Lizara.
いい話っぽかったのに最後で台無しだよ。
なるほど。まずは既成事実をですわね。
Which brings me back to their first encounter. Ryosuke is a booze enthusiast and pervert at heart. Therefore, no matter how dominant or violent Lizara might be, the average-looking main character to get a good look at her naked delicious body. But first he wanted a sneak peek at her underwear, but fortunately for him and us, Lizara was not wearing any. She was commando in her shirt, and Yosuke got to see that the mattress do indeed match the drapes.
赤い糸。
That's a Vampire Suck reference. I wonder if you, seen that movie. It's pretty bad. Let's talk a bit about the plot of this anime. Besides the bouncy tits, the show does try to also have a decent enough premise to keep me engaged and interested in the action and story. As I mentioned before, we are dealing with soul reapers here, which conveniently take the form of beautiful young ladies who end up attending the same high school of the protagonist. Lizara is looking for the one to give her power to fulfill her quest. Sadly, Yosuke is not the one she was searching for, because the energy is a bit pathetic.
15,000引くかすね。はい、次の方。
However, when aroused, the main character bursts with power. Yeah, just like in High School DxD, the protagonist is powered by perversion and naughty thoughts. Dropping a fine specimen of a woman like Lizara is a perfect boost for his stamina and willpower. The Reha Soul Reaper makes a contract with him, which means she can use Ryosuke for his energy to power her own techniques in her quest of fighting the one. Lizara also has a bracelet which indicates the power level of anyone she shakes hands with, but she's not alone on a mission. There are other hot, beautiful Grim Reaper ladies who are also in search of power for their own agenda. I love when provocative young girls have horns, which is one of the main reasons Zero Two was one of my undisputed waifus of the last decade. Thankfully here, where the girls are in their combat-ready uniforms, they seem to have horns, or other devilish accessories to their heads. I love black uniforms. It's so much fun to see villainous, dangerous entities cosplay as evil magical girls. There's also another subplot about Ryosuke's life coming to an end. Apparently his life won't be that long really, and Lizara tells him he has less than 3 more months to live. Man, that's a bummer. Right when you meet the girl of your dreams, and you're surrounded by beautiful waifus with huge boobs, the cruel fate comes in and ruins all the fun. Luckily for me, the prospect of an early, imminent death is not enough bad news to keep him from enjoying the nudity and other age adventures ahead of him. Oh boy, there's so much more fan service to come. I guess it's kind of time to also mention the other 3 girls from the harem, starting with Quell Sailor. She's the cousin of Lizara, however she calls her sister.
お姉様
Onesama. I like this personal family dynamic, not to mention she secretly tries to humiliate and defeat her relative. A cheer from a pretty girl who turns into an evil demon magical girl with the ability of ice manipulation. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention how Lizara is a fire user. All those female soul reapers have an element to use in combat. These are stereotypical fantasy tropes, which kinda like how Stella Vernerian also is able to manipulate fire to her will. It's fitting because Lizara has an aggressive temper, therefore fire was the best element for her personality, and excessive similar behavior. Koya is a hot waifu in her own right. I mean, I definitely prefer Lizara, but she's also hot, naughty, ambitious, and ruthless in her mission. Sadly, Quell does not stand out much in the story. She's fun to have as a rival for Yosuke's attention, but doesn't really add much to the narrative. Her body is fantastic, she has nice boobs, beautiful hips, and overall a feminine figure. Quell is silent alongside the other female characters I'm about to introduce, namely Mina Okura. She's Ryosuke's childhood friend. She's very shy and prudish girl. Mina is rather fond of Ryosuke and accepts his perversion and weird social behavior. The main character mostly scares girls away due to his naughty mindset, but Mina seems to enjoy his company. Another major important aspect of Mina is her enormous boob size. Apparently she is 92cm F cup. Weird how boys from her class are not asking her out all the time.
中2ですでに D カップだったがみんなお前の胸さらに成長したよな
I would have expected for her to be the center of attention, like Lizara was in her first day of school. Breasts aren't enough to make a pretty waifu. You need the face, type, personality, and slender figure to win the popularity contest. Thankfully, Ryosuke has a keen eye for her boobs and is constantly fascinated about Mina's tits. My second favorite waifu from the show, other than Lizara, is her female rival and pop culture icon, Iria Fukumune. She's currently an idol, showing off her body and amazing voluptuous feminine assets. She's the most attractive body of them all, and is constantly wearing revealing underwear to showcase her beauty. Sadly, her tits are fake. Go figures. The main thing about her image and popularity is a lie. Her official breast size are 92cm, but upon inspection, they seem even bigger, 92.5cm. F cup.
リリアちゃんのバストは92にあらず 92.5 だ
It's all in vain, as they are magically enhanced. This might be the first anime I see where one waifu has fake tits, but it's okay. Just like in porn, I don't mind fake tits, as long as they are big and bouncy. Iria is gorgeous, and her body is fantastic. She's also an evil girl. Her Google eyes just a show to gain followers and make herself beloved by the masses. Ryosuke is all in on her charms. I like how easy he is to be aroused by her. All Iria has to do was show off her voluptuous figure. Our main character was completely hypnotized by her feminine charms.
どうこの胸が好きなら私と契約を結ばないなんですって
It's as good of a time as any to also mention the perverted and simple-minded Ryosuke. Love it or hate it, we have a protagonist who's completely focused on boobs and slender female ass. But not in a cool badass way, but more of an pathetic virgin or dirty old man spying on chicks at the bathhouse kind of type. Ryosuke is like a total leech and is disgusting degenerate without the diverse personality and fighting spirit of Issei Hyodo. Yeah, I kinda see why audience might have a problem with the Harukim, as he's obviously acting like an idiot. For me, he was perfect for the story. You see, the narrative is a bit boring and convoluted. We need some comedy relief and some more personal scenarios to evidenciate the boobs and personality of our beautiful waifus. In that regard, Ryosuke is the perfect protagonist for this story. What I don't like about this anime is the story and the villains. For a good action show, you need a good villain. Here we have generic bad guys who kidnap girls and have complicated alternative motives. Kinda like Testament's sister, New Devil. The anime spends too much time building up a conflict with an uninteresting payoff and a forgivable generic villain. The struggle of the show lies in the beautiful waifus and the exciting high school life of a harem king. We only need a gloomy narrative and some evil bad guys as a pretext to add character development and create new naughty scenarios between the goals. Unless you are high school DxD, you shouldn't focus on the fighting or complex action in your edgy harem anime. On a side note, I like the practical implementation of nudity. We get to see Lizara expose her boobs constantly while in combat. It kinda makes sense for her to reveal her upper body while taking damage in conflict. There are also some subplots who don't get much resolution, like the mention of the extraordinary eight. One female member is a beautiful pervert who can adjust the boob size of any other. She can tell exactly the centimeters and cup of any woman just by staring her tits.
この飯より宗男さんはどんな女性のバストサイズも言い当てるという眼力の持ち主なの。
Muneo is kinda hot, as she's a dorky character and a full pervert with a strict set of principles. We also have a lawyer teacher, and that was it. No more exploration into the extraordinary individuals, because we have a generic fantasy story to implement with a boring villain. By the length of the video, you can tell I really enjoy this anime. The sight of well-implemented female nudity warms my heart every time. I give So I Can Play Age a 7.7 out of 10. This is one awesome harem, and if you are a boob enthusiast, you should definitely give it a try. The fanservice is amazing in this one.